Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Qiana Scales podcast is dedicated to real conversations about issues, emotions, and experiences that affects the lives of everyday people.
I know that's right.
Welcome to the I Am Qiana Scales podcast. Welcome to the I Am Qiana Scales podcast. Big ups to our sponsor, the Closet Experience Boutique, your go-to spot for the hottest fashions. Hit up theclosetexperience.com and use code podcast, that's PODCAST, for 10% off. Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet? Welcome to the I Am Qiana Scales podcast. I'm your host, Qiana Scales, and today we're diving into a topic that affects every woman. Whether we're willing to admit it or not, beauty is a woman's currency. The world often tells women that their value is tied to their appearance. And as we age, we're usually made to feel less relevant or desirable. Meanwhile, men aren't held to the same harsh standards. We will explore how this inequality doesn't just affect how society perceives us, but also how it chips away at our self-esteem. Let's talk about how we can shift this narrative and redefine what it means to be valuable, beautiful, and worthy at any age. Get ready to meet a powerhouse in the wellness and recovery world. Today on the show, we're joined by the incredible Simona Kendrick, the owner of Mona Lisa's Massage, Recovery, and Wellness, and the CSL Therapy Director of Tennessee, a true expert in post-surgical care and therapeutic massage. With over 20 years of experience in the therapeutic massage industry, Simona is a licensed massage therapist and a board-certified therapist. Her specialized expertise in medical massage and post-operative recovery has transformed the lives of countless clients, helping them heal, recover, and feel their absolute best. We're diving deep today into a topic that affects us all, beauty as a woman's currency. How does society's pressure for women to look a certain way sometimes push us to make drastic decisions to alter our appearances? Simona's got the insight and the know-how to navigate these choices, and she'll be sure to share some of her real talk about the world of beauty, self-care, and how wellness can be a game changer in maintaining our natural radiance. Don't miss it as we explore everything from healing after surgery to the emotional journey of beauty. Simona is here to shed light on it all, child. Welcome to the show, Simona. You're here on the I Am Qiana Scales podcast, and I am glad you're here, friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited for you to get into the nitty gritty and just dive in. So tell us all about yourself. I can't wait. So you've built an impressive career. You have about 20 years
About
of
20
experience in doing wellness and recovery in this wellness and recovery space. So before we get into the conversation too deep, before we dive on in, I want to know, what made you specialize in medical massage and post-operative recovery?
Well, let's start with the medical massage. What made me dive into it, I think it was just something I was drawn to more than doing just the regular spa therapy that you would normally get. I've never been the type of therapist that just do frou-frou stuff, not the cute stuff. I'm more of a sports related person. Okay. So that's what got me started with medical massage. And as far as post-surgical, I started putting weight loss in my practice and practicing lymphatic therapy. And that's big in the post-op world. And I just was drawn to lymphatics, the benefits, the detoxification, the weight loss. And so slowly but surely, I just dived into that world as well.
Okay. And how has your experience shaped the way you approach healing and wellness?
Can you repeat that, please?
How has your experience shaped the way you approach healing and wellness?
Oh, goodness. It's changed in many, many ways. You meet a lot of different people. It's changed my practice, I think, from just being a sports person, but being more therapeutic and a listening ear for people as well. So I've heard many stories. I've had people cry on my shoulders. It's bigger than just touch.
Okay, that's understandable. So do you believe that beauty is still viewed as a woman's currency in today's world?
Absolutely. more than that. I think it is obsession at this point. Um, and it's actually stressful for women in my experience.
I would concur to that. I definitely would, because I believe that beauty is still often viewed as a woman's currency in today's world. Like you said, it's with me though. I feel like it's a complex thing, but it's also a evolving concept. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I see it on one hand, beauty can still open doors, and whether we want to admit it or not, it opens a lot of doors for us women. And I hate to sound shallow and vain, but sometimes you can have beauty with no brains and succeed.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Why I was saying beauty is a woman's currency. Hint that that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Open like I was saying, open up doors in the workplace and in relationships. Because what all the men say, I want a bad, all this stuff. So they're only looking at the outward beauty.
Okay. And just to add to that, let's be clear. That's what they say.
Yes.
That's not always.
That is society.
Exactly. That's not always what they really want.
Right.
What's the saying? Sex sells.
Yep.
Sexy sells.
Yep.
Social media influence sells.
Yep.
So it's not always what you see and what is said to you. You got to be truthful to yourself at the end of the day.
Definitely.
So
I would definitely say that. But I also want to add to that there is definitely a shift happening, kind of what you were saying. There have been more diverse representations of beauty starting to take center stage. And one that I noticed not too long ago was a Dove commercial where they stated that they were not going to let AI enhancements into their commercials. They were just going to show natural beauty. And I was like, oh, wow. So that's why I was talking about the evolving part. And I was like, oh, wow. Because beauty, I don't know if we'll ever get past beauty being a woman's currency, at the forefront of where it is now, where everything is, what everybody's talking about now. Oh, my face card don't decline.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about beauty. And it's like, what is your face card? And who defines whose face card declines and who doesn't?
Right. And I mean, that's big of Dove, if that's what they're seriously considering doing. Like I tell my clients all the time, they struggle with seeing other people that they will, or AKA a wish pick, somebody they want to look like, and they get infatuated with the look. So when they don't get the results that they paid for, it takes a mental toll on them. Like I've literally experienced people breaking down.
Oh, wow.
Because of that. But I'm always preaching, don't fall in love with what you see on social media. Photoshop is real.
Yes, it is.
And let's be clear. Did you look like that before? And I mean, I'm just keeping
it's serious. You have to be.
I'm seriously being real with people, because you will get so infatuated with what someone else is doing. And AI is real.
Yep.
90% of what you see are not real bodies on there. I mean, unless you're smart enough to differentiate between the two. But literally, a lot of women get caught up in this world of, I want to look so perfect. There's no such thing. It's perfection. Yep. I'm always encouraging my clients, and I know you got to go on to your next question, but love you.
Right.
Love you. Enhance what you have, but don't expect to be just like. So, but a lot of people are struggling. A lot of women are out here struggling with this issue.
So from your experience, as you encounter women looking to enhance their bodies, what are women feeling or saying to you? What is going through their minds when they wake up and say, oh, I gotta go out and get this big old ass to feel good? Like, literally, like, it's really like overwhelming. Like, why do you think so many women are opting for procedures like the BBLs, the lip fillers, breast augmentations? I mean, like we talked about it before, the societal pressures, but what is going through their minds? Like when they come to you?
So let's break down women. Let's break down genres of women.
Okay.
Let's break down age groups, because I see clients as young, and I say young even though they're adults, as young as 20.
Oh, wow.
So, and as old as 60, maybe 70. So when we talk about women, it's very broad in who does what for what reason. The young ones, I would say, goes in with your title about the beauty is currency, because they are so caught up with the look. I'm an 80s baby. I can remember developing and getting my little shape on, and the one thing I did not care about is having hips and a big old butt on my back. But these ladies, in my experience, rounds and rounds and rounds of surgical procedures to get to a look, and they're not even 25 good. So there's something wrong with that.
Yes, it really is.
As far as the older women, I feel like they do it more for weight loss. I respect that. I feel like there should be more regulations as far as age groups. Young ladies they shouldn't be looking to that to get the perfect body. There should be more no's. You're not ready. You're not developed enough. Your brain is not ready for this surgery. But in that world, and I hate saying I'm in this, industry, I don't speak against surgeons, but there needs to be a little bit more tightening up as far as like, hey, give me your money, let me fix your body.
Right.
And just restrictions. I think so.
Most definitely. So in your opinion, how much of a role does the concept of beauty is a woman's currency play in women choosing to undergo cosmetics procedures? Do you typically see where they're saying they want to gain power? I know you're saying they just want the enhancements because they see, let's just say Yolanda down the street has a big butt and that she's the popping celebrity of the week. So besides that, do you ever hear that they're trying to gain a status or validation?
Not status per se. What I hear the most is all about aesthetics with people. It's never to get a better job or to feel better. It is really all about just what they look like in the mirror, what they look like around peers. It is never, in my opinion and what I have seen, it is never to climb them higher in life. It is just, how can I look like, Jane on Instagram? I've never heard anybody saying I need this because this is going to help me live. Just my experience. It's more of a look.
Just more
not health.
Purposes.
Yeah.
So it's just
very much vanity. Right. Yeah.
So what do you think the role of self-esteem and body image issues in women's decision to alter their looks? Just very low self-esteem, or some people just really don't care?
Most wouldn't admit it, but what I read is very low self-esteem. I mean, some people are very confident and just want to tweak something here and there, but when you are yearly getting liposuction or yearly getting a revision on the same body parts, like for instance, client A in the stripper world gets a nip and tuck every year just to hang in there with her job. So that's a risk I feel that person is taking to keep what we just talked about, a status. But some of it is low self-esteem. You get so pressured by what you see on the social media sites, and you just can't convince people to go to the gym. You can't convince people to take this route first before you consider the end all be all, because once you in, these people get hooked to that.
I was going to say something. You talked about the gym. I wanted to say, you know what baffles me? They go get these bodies, and all of a sudden now they're in the gym talking about, oh, I got this body from.
Oh yes, ma'am.
That wasn't gym made, baby. That was those surgeon hands made.
Exactly. But I will tell you this. I want to make a point. I do not understand, and hope my clients don't kill me for what I'm about to say. I don't understand why be so secretive about your procedure. If you are so gung-ho with, going and having this done, and I get it, you probably don't want it to be somebody's business, but you're gonna be on social media anyway.
Right. And it's clearly we can tell from what you're gonna delete all the pictures, and then you can delete pictures, but the people that really know you didn't have that body 3 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, a month ago.
And I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but these are my intrusive thoughts.
Yes. No, we won't. Look, clients, she is here to shed light to hopefully help somebody. This is not to shade you. She's not putting any names on your scenarios. Nobody knows it's you unless you bring the attention to yourself. She's just going to come on here to keep it real, to talk. We're going to have a grown-up conversation.
Absolutely.
This has nothing to do with, women. Get out your feelings. This is a conversation that needs to be had.
It needs to be had over and over again. Actually, in our profession, in our organization, we talk about mental health. We stress the fact that body dysmorphia is at an all-time high.
And for those, let me stop you right there. For those people that do not know what that is, please explain.
So, in a nutshell, body dysmorphia is if I go get a surgical procedure done, and let's just say I was 500 pounds before. So body dysmorphia is like every time I look in the mirror, all I see is the 500 pound me. I'm going to find something wrong, that don't lay right. This doesn't fit right. I don't feel right. He didn't do enough. And so that makes them more susceptible to go get another round or two, fix this, lift that. And it's constant. There's no end to it, So it's real.
And when she say it's real, trust what she's saying, because she sees these type of patients all the time. So Simona, do you believe that cosmetic surgery or body modifications can truly improve a woman's confidence, or is the impact more temporary?
The right person, yes, it can. The right person, it absolutely can. And I would say the right person is someone who had a need for it, health wise, had multiple babies, and it's time. Sometimes the gym can't fix it. Let's be clear. People, women experience things like stretching of the stomach muscles, stretching of the skin, hysterectomies, things like scar tissue, all the above. So yes, I absolutely encourage someone going through that and they don't feel like themselves again to do something like that. But if this is just something for you to do, just to jump on the trend, and you don't plan on taking care of yourself for the long run, what's the point?
Because it is, people think that it's not costly, that once you have it, people don't, you get infatuated by the look, but there's, am I right or wrong, there's upkeep with these looks.
Absolutely. There's long-term upkeep with the look. Can you go another round? Let's just say the doctor can only do so much in one procedure. So yes, they encourage you to come back and get a second round. Does it require you to go multiple times past that second one? I don't think it should. At that point, you should have some responsibility for yourself and over your body inside and out, and not rely on a surgical procedure as much. But it has been made so easy to just go back again and again and again. But you got to think of all the money that you're investing in that.
So is it kind of like for some, the procedures are handicapping them? You said because it's a quick fix. You know, it's that microwave, like we always talk about that microwave generation. For them, the surgery is a microwave solution.
Yes, it's absolutely handy. I've had clients straight out their mouth tell me, I'm not going in a gym. Why? When I could do this. You know, a quick fix. But it's not a quick fix. You know, post-op care for liposuction is up to a year.
Oh, wow.
A year long. So that's not an overnight fix. So I hate when people tell me, you know, what they don't think they should do when I'm advising you to actually save your life, because you just can't keep hopping on the table. You know, the death rate with this is extremely high as well.
When we say hopping on the table, let me ask you this. Are they hopping on the same doctor's table, or are they hopping to different tables?
Not always the same doctor.
Okay, I just was curious about, do you have to go back to the same surgeon?
No, excuse me. No, you don't have to go back to surgeon. Most time, 9 times out of 10, they don't go back to the same surgeon because the first surgeon didn't do the job the first time.
Okay. Or so they thought that, or is this one of those so they thought they didn't, or is the surgeon really not doing it right?
It 50-50.
Okay.
50-50. It just depends on who was the surgeon.
Okay. I just want to make sure we was clear on that. So do you think that cycle of constant cosmetic surgery, especially among celebrities, is an unrealistic expectation for the everyday woman?
Yes.
And how do you think the everyday woman identifies with those celebrities?
They automatically believe that that's all they did. They think they went to Dr. Nip and Tuck and he fixed them up and they look just great. I try to get people to understand the things that you see on social media don't always line up with the timeline when they had a procedure done.
Thank you, because when you're watching a show, people, let's be wise here. That show is on for what? Maybe an hour. It's chopped up with commercials. So guess what? They had to, what we call edit. It's an editing room. So you're not getting to see the whole thing. All you're seeing, okay, here's where they started filming the person in their home, their journey to go talk to the surgeon. Now they're on the table. Now fast forward, you getting a follow-up where they are now. It's a process, people.
Exactly. But they still believe. They still believe. Some have more sense than others, but they still believe that. But yes, everything you see is not real. 9 times out of 10, celebrities are in the gym. But they have personal trainers for all of this. It is encouraged by their surgeon, but, you know, to each his own.
Right.
So, yes.
So with platforms like Instagram, TikTok, where they're celebrating filters and Photoshop and all of this when it comes to beauty. You know how, I'm going to take this. It makes my looks, enhances look. Do you think this kind of virtual perfections make real life beauty feel less attainable? It's like, if I'm going to snap this picture, this is how I look at that question is, I'm going to snap this picture. I don't look so good. I'm going to cover it with a filter. Because I really sometimes see people overusing filters. And I'm like, what is wrong with the way you look? Because I don't give a dang. Look, we're going to take this picture, keep it rolling.
See, you are of a different generation and a different mental strength. Everybody don't have that. Or they won't admit it. So they get caught up in the filters. I'm guilty of that. I'm not always happy.
Friend, you show up. You got to stop all them dang on filters, friend. I was going to see if you were going to sit here and keep it real, because I was going to call you out. Because this is real talk, real people, and relevant conversations. No gossip, just gems. I was sure know. Because, baby, you got me on. I'm like, why is we doing all this? But one of them I am cute on. Back in the day, look, I'm getting off track. But you remember when we went to go see, my 8-ball MJG?
Yes.
Yeah, I got to tell y'all about this. Remember, getting off track, I always like to show a little story time when I can. So we went, it was TSU homecoming, I believe. And you know when they came by, and I said, let's just get in line like we know. I know y'all probably saying, Qiana is always going to put herself in a line with somebody. I showed it. I said, come on. They don't know we part of this entourage. Now we just walked on like we was with the
We did.
entourage. Yeah, that was some
did.
fun times.
That
But that
was.
picture, I was cute with my blonde hair, y'all. Yes, I used to have some hair back in the day. And then you got us filtered up with these hearts, and I was like, "Oh, I'm cute with this filter, baby."
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to say, you used to always have us filtered up, and I used to be like,
It's
take them
fun.
filters off me.
It's fun. I mean, but these days people are changing their nose,
Oh, yes.
eyes, all the above. But yes, society is so affected by vanity. It's just my prayer that people start to educate themselves
Yes.
more, talk to people like me, book a consultation. I mean, I will keep it real with you. I will show you the ins and outs before you make that choice. It's always recommended that you go get educated, sit down, and really get the facts before you make a conscious decision to do that.
So let's take surgery out the equation. What steps can women take to reclaim their worth and their power outside of just beauty and their appearance? Like, what's some things that you would recommend?
First, start with working on that self-esteem. And I would say start with therapy. Or get a community around you that believe in you, that tell you the truth, tell you, when you ain't right or when you're wrong about something. Get a community first. A great friend. If you can't afford therapy, make sure talk to your pastor, talk to the women at your church. But I would say prayer. Get your prayer life up. Write down what it is you don't like about yourself. Challenge yourself to beat those odds about yourself. But that's what I would do. Because I've struggled with that. I can keep it real. I have struggled with the way I look and how I felt about myself. I've been teased, that I'm so short, and or when I've even gained weight, but I didn't let that get to me so much. So just get your mental wealth up, in the best way that you can. Talk to people like me. Talk to your doctor about it so they can refer you to the right professionals to help you with those feelings and build that confidence. That's what I would recommend.
Most definitely. And there are some people that offer just basic confidence classes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to shout out Ashley Rose, I believe she helps women build their confidence. So y'all can look her up. A Rose the model I believe it's A Rose the model on social media, but she's Ashley Rose. She is what's the name of her? Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get it right. Sorry for the Wait. She does those Sorry for the Wait fashion shows. She's a person that you might want to get in touch and tell them the I Am Qiana Scales podcast sent you over that way, because I'm all about community. And if I can help you find somebody to talk to, I'm pretty sure she'll be more than willing to talk to you.
I also want to plug in our organization, csltherapy.org. If you are a female or male who may be struggling with the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you're looking, and you might be considering surgery as the answer, please go to our website, csltherapy.org. You'll find my information there as well as other people in the organization. We're happy. We have a mental wealth person on staff for that. And she prays with you as well. So try that as well. So
I want to talk about how some countries have become hot spots for affordable cosmetic surgery, but the lack of regulation can lead to dangerous consequences. With that being said, how do you feel about the ethics of medical tourism for cosmetic procedures?
Do your research. And that's actually what I do as a director, is the law and ethics part of this industry. It's so many horror stories going overseas and getting these procedures done. It's not always the cleanest. Right. You don't know if they are dealing with an epidemic of things, and then you come back home to the States and you're infected, and there's nothing that over here we could do for you because it's considered a liability. Even if you go if you were from the state of Tennessee and you go to Georgia or Miami, coming home, a doctor won't always see you. They'll actually turn you away and tell you to go where you went to because it's a legal liability. Oh, I've literally had clients come home when we talk about international procedures, come home with infections, and I'm talking about skin eating diseases to the point where they have to get wound care immediately because it's affecting the bloodstream. So you got to do your due diligence. Just because it costs less there doesn't mean it's the best care. And certainly you're going to countries where they don't even speak your language, let alone they might even not like Americans like that. Like they like your money.
I was just going to say they like your money.
But they might not like you too much. So you just got to be aware. You really got to do your due diligence to do the research on who's actually putting their hands on you. There's been instances where medical records have been swapped. Oh, wow. A client had HIV, but was swapped with another lady. I mean, that really exactly. It's deep. I could talk about this all day. We'll probably have to do another show on that. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So in the States, are there ways that there possibly can be a balance between affordability and safety so people won't consider going?
No, because it just depends on the surgical center and what they choose to charge you. But most people, 9 times out of 10, the problem that I've had the most are the cheaper procedures. They come home with the most problems. It's always a burn, an infection, a botched area. So you just gotta make sure you get with the right professional. You just do.
Like do your due diligence to research these.
Even with somebody centers. Like me, do your research. Make sure that person knows the facts. Make sure that person knows anatomy, physiology, not just rubbing on you. You gotta have somebody that has the terminology and actually know what it means inside your body, inside and out. So,
oh, wow. So as a director of CSL Therapy of Tennessee, and I want you to tell us what CSL stands for, then I'm going to proceed.
I knew you was going to ask me that. It is convalescent. Hold on one second. I should have had this pulled up because it's long. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to do that. Okay. So it's convalescent therapy. So basically it is just a more medical term for lymphatic procedures for post-surgical care. And basically what we do, we govern everything post-surgical care, cosmetic wise. And so it is our job to structure a plan for you once you get out of the surgeon's hands. Okay. So we take care of everything from wound care, the massages as far as lymphatic movement. We take care of drainage, seroma issues. We take care of your garments, what you need to wear. We even we govern what you put on as well. We do anything that's post-surgical, that's what we do.
So what steps do you take to make sure that both the procedures and the post-op care align with the best practices of the state? I'm going to specifically talk about Tennessee since that's who you represent.
So there is a general schedule of what we do. So we have 12 weeks to a year. Every week is a different week. So they have to get a certain amount of care each week, the first 12 weeks. And then after that, we put them in what we call maintenance mode from there. So there is specific steps that a client has to take each and every week, and that changes depending on the procedure, depending on how many procedures that they had. It could be breast, abs, back. It just depends on what they had. But we have a general rule of procedures as far as post-op, what we do.
And I guess my next question would be, when you say the patient, so this is only for patients that come through your company. Are we talking about your Mona Lisa company or actually the CSL?
CSL.
Okay. So, yes. Okay. So I guess they would go through. Okay, walk me through how that works. How does the patient look for a staff member at CSL? Is that how they book through them?
They can. Okay. Now they can. It didn't used to be that way because we are new and this industry is becoming regulated. It wasn't before. So you got to think about the hands people were in before none of this was regulated. So I just want to shout out Ty Brown. Thank God she stepped up to get it regulated, because before it wasn't. It was just any and everybody doing their thing. And the rules were so unbalanced, meaning the surgeon tells you one thing, we're telling you another, and there was nobody meeting in the middle saying, hey, this is what everybody should be doing. So you can go to surgeon A and I can go to surgeon B, get the same procedure, but your post-op directions might not line up with mine. Oh, wow. So that means everybody's healing differently. So what CSL did is bridge the gap between surgeon and post-op specialists. So that's what we do. And post-op includes nurses, massage therapists like myself, phlebotomists. We have now body contours. I know y'all have heard all the craze about that. Nurses, massage therapists, phlebotomists, and esthetician. Okay. So they are included in post-op world too.
I would like to say that I'm very proud of the industry for being regulated, and that for the most part, from what I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there's no more going to a hotel to get Fix-A-Flat injected in you, or is that still happening? Because from what I know, now everybody wants to go overseas or in the States to go see a Dr. Miami or, hey, shout out Dr. Kurz. I used to want to go, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be like, I'm gonna go to see Dr. Michael, Michael J. Kurz up in Atlanta? I used to be like, oh, let him sculpt this body, baby. I sure did.
I mean, that could still be a goal. Just make sure you ready.
I ain't ready. For that's that. Why I ain't done it, because girl, I be talking.
Listen, but you said something about the Fix-A-Flat days. I believe they are over. But what we are running into is at-home lipo.
Okay, wait. Time out. Let's start back.
Yes.
Okay. Did I just hear you right? I was listening. Let me make sure that I was actively listening.
Yes, ma'am.
You said at-home lipo. How do you have at-home lipo?
You can't have at-home lipo, but there are people out there that think they could do what a surgeon can do, just like the at-home veneers and things like that.
Those. And then people, you're going to jail. You are not licensed to do dentistry. These people, they're really locking folks up. Y'all look it up. There have been people arrested. Yes. I want to say the victim I won't call him a victim, but the person was in Atlanta. Was it Houston, Atlanta, that the lady just got locked up?
I think it's either Houston or Atlanta. You're not wrong.
It was one of them, but like I said, it just happened about a month ago. They are locking people up. And then, sorry, another time I think we're going to get back to that.
Yes.
Let's put a pause right there. But for the life of me, I do not know why anybody would want to go to somebody that has not been to dentist. Like, you ain't been in the world of dentistry, so you just bypass all this schooling. So y'all think that schooling is a joke? Why you think dentists go to school?
Listen, I don't know.
So you think somebody just go get a certificate overnight? But that's a story for a different day.
It's really people out here that think that they could do anything. And
I get it, but at the same time, I'm not even going to put it on the person that think they can do anything, because I'm probably one of them people. But as a consumer, as the patient, as the client, when do we take responsibility to put that on ourselves? Because at some point, there needs to be a point that you say, does this feel right, look right, taste right?
Desperation. At the end of the day, desperation. A quick fix. Mine can't be right, because they're making a conscious decision to let someone from off the street poke and prod, replace bone structure in your mouth. Let alone
get all kind of infections. These
Yes.
people can't prescribe you meds
Mm-mm.
unless they working now. Unless they got it really set up as an illegal operation where they perform, if something go wrong, they know that they can get a script from a doctor. But I don't really see that happening. But maybe that's how they got it set up. I don't know because I don't go to them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, now let's go back to this at-home lipo. I'm sorry because now I'm very intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world do you do at-home lipo?
Listen,
Come on, tell me more because I might need to go home and work on this stuff.
How it was done, I don't know per se what they used, but I want to say the story that I read about was in New York.
Oh, wow.
And a individual was doing their friends in their home. Of course, the people died.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, they didn't live, but just the fact that you took it that far and someone was willing to let you poke. And this, I'm saying,
I guess
poke.
they needed some syringes, act like they were gonna suck this stuff out.
Well, to make them even think that they can do their procedure, it is beyond me, because liposuction is not just a poke and a prod. It is actually an incision made, and you are going around organs and this, that, and the third. So I'm sure that person bled to death, you know, or damaged a vital organ. It is amazing what we experience.
Lord, I would just say thank you for keeping me in my right mind to make the right decision, sound and solid, and glad that I have a kelp around me when I'm talking crazy. Because, you know, y'all, these were just jokes about I'm going home. Y'all, I'm not poking myself, going to do nothing like that. But I might be a little skinny in a couple of more weeks. Y'all just ask me about that later. We'll talk. No, let me quit joking because this is a serious episode. Y'all know I got to throw a little few jokes in the commentary. But I want you, from your experience, can you walk us through what that post-operative care typically looks like?
Okay, so let's pretend you decided to have lipo 360, and what that entails, that is liposuction of the abdomen, flank areas, which are where your ribs and your sides are, and your back. So that's all the way around. Generally, day 2 of surgery, we prefer that you have what we call lymphatic massage, lymphatic drainage, or what we call post-op endure, 7 days after you have surgery. So your lymphatic system gets affected the most. And what I mean by that, when you have these invasive procedures, it disrupts the flow. So you always have had lymphatic fluid inside your body, but with a surgical procedure, it stops, and so the fluid has nowhere to go. Or what we do, we have to move it into its proper places so we can keep healing the body inside out. I call it an import-export system of the body. So we do 7 days. The first week, second week, 2 to 3 weeks, 3 through 6, you get 2 massages a week, so on, and it lessens throughout the week. At week 6, we get into what we call the body sculpting phase. You might have something that the surgeon missed. So that's when we might introduce tools, things of that nature, where we might tighten up a spot or enhance a different area. At least this is what I do, but this is general knowledge as well. We also take care of you as what we call the faja, or the body garment that you wear after surgery. Yes, and they come in different stages. Stage 1 is typically what your surgeon is going to give you for the first couple weeks after your procedure. And basically the garment is used for compression methods. So after you get the lymphatic drainage care from us, we have you put that garment on to make sure you are still safely compressed and kept together, posture good, things of that nature. And those garments comes in stages 1, 2, and 3. 3 is when you're getting into a maintenance phase. So that's when you kind of get into like the waist training looking stage. It's more tight. Your figure is coming in. You're starting to see your shape. Stage 2 is just in the middle. And they come in high, medium, and low compressions as well. So it just depends on the procedure, on what type of garment that you need. Like I said, we also do wound care. Some surgeons insert what we call drainage tubes, and that all that does is catch the fluid after you've had the procedure, because sometimes they leave incisions open just to heal back up, but sometimes they put the drainage tubes to catch that fluid, and you have to have those removed after so many weeks. We also, and I don't want to forget anything. We take care of any vitamins that you may need, supplements, things of that nature. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting that, but gist of it, we do massage, we do wound care, garment care. Nurses are your vitals. They do a little bit of what I do, but in a different scope of things. You can get IV therapy with a nurse, phlebotomist. That's blood work all day, or IV therapy. Esthetician, they can do more things with injections and things for only certain parts of the body. But we all collectively do almost the same thing, but just in different scopes. So anything that has to do with post-op and beyond, we take care of hand to foot.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. So what advice would you give to women who are considering cosmetic surgery, whether to enhance their looks or change something they feel insecure about?
Ask yourself, is it worth it? First, get with the right person to do the right research. So don't get in. I'm not going to say don't get into these surgical groups, because they exist, but surgical groups will give you a million stories. Their stories are their own, they're not yours. So I encourage people to consult with a surgery planner, consult with a nurse, consult with your PCP, consult with someone like me, and do the right research. Don't jump head first into things. And like I said, really write down, make sure it's in your budget, because some people come home completely broke and they can't afford post-op care.
Oh no. But I thought, let me back, make sure I heard everything right. But post-op care is a requirement though, right?
It is.
So if they can't afford it, then what happens?
Like I said, people jump in head first and not doing all the budgeting for surgery. It's easy to pay the surgeon because they're one and done with you. But the longest part is the post-op, and they don't account for that. So we run into this quite a bit.
So is there payment plans for this type of thing? Or, because how do they get treated? If you're saying that lymphatic system has to be taken care of, you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
That if they don't get the care, then what happens? I'm sure stuff is going to set up in the bloodstream, possibly causing infection.
Fibrosis.
Now they're going to be in the ER, so typically somebody's going to pay the cost.
Right. Will they still heal? Yes, but not as, I'm not going to say quick, not as professionally as they should have. It'll be a much longer process than had they took the right steps.
Okay, let's say they didn't take the right steps. Are they still going to get those desired looks that they went to go get? Are they going to achieve?
That's your surgeon's job. That's not my job.
No. What I'm saying is, okay, the surgeon does his part, but they don't come to you to get that. Is it going to lump up? Like, I'm just curious to know if I don't
okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. If they don't come to someone like me, you could run into some complications. You could run into what we call as hard fluid areas. So
that's what I was trying to get at.
Scar tissue areas. So if you don't have someone like me and other professionals taking care of that, or even examining you and finding it out, because the client don't always see it or know the signs of things. So if you don't have someone like us on your team to take care of you, you can live with a lifetime of internal injury. Like, it's been times I've been on assignment with a client. I don't think had I not been there with her, she probably wouldn't have made it. And that was day 2 of surgery. She had blood clots to the lungs. So if someone wasn't there to have eyes on her, I don't think she would have woke up the next day. So post-op care is so important. You gotta have somebody with the knowledge and the know-how to look after you for the long haul. It's very important that I always try to tell people, please budget that in your surgery budget.
I want to ask you this. So, what role do you think men play in this conversation?
As far as the influence of women, okay. I would say they 80% role, because some girls are doing it to please a man. I'm encouraging you not to, because you could have been a tailpipe and he would not have cared. So I'm just saying 80% it's to please their guy. And 20% is because they want to feel better. That's just my experience.
And I really hate that, because we did all this talk today, and men do not have to have this conversation.
No.
They can go bald, they can go gray,
yes,
they can get chubby, they can get fat, they can lose muscle mass, and nobody talks about it. But yet, women, we are put under that microscope, every little thing. And then also, as women, we do it to ourselves. When I say that, we pit ourselves against other women.
Yes.
And the biggest thing that I still do, I still see it sometimes. They're like, who wore it best? And I'm like, y'all pitting each other. And of course, different body shapes is going to look different in something versus somebody else's. And not only that is, my style is my style. Her style is her style. We both rocked it. How about that?
Well, I mean, that's maturity level in people. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy, and I wish people would understand that you wouldn't have to do all this work if you wasn't so obsessed with what the next person is doing and how the next person is looking, because you got to focus on you at the end of the day. I mean, you're important. Be important to yourself. Believe in you.
That's the first thing, is be important to yourself and believe in you. What you just said. What you said. Because a lot of times, like, you don't know how many times I get the question of, oh, what made you shave your hair? Blah, 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 blah. What does your husband think? I care about what I think first.
Exactly.
Because guess what? If I'm running around here what he want, and then what if he want long hair and I don't want long hair? I'm not being true to myself, so I'm being true to myself first. Yes, I'm going to take into consideration what he wants, but first things first with me. And anybody knows me is I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And thanks for your advice, but what makes me feel good about myself?
Yeah. And I'm going to take what you just said. Sometimes that is the attitude I get from people who want to have this surgery. I do it because I want to. I never hear I do it because I need to do it. It's always just want. And that's fair. That's okay. You're grown. You can make your own decisions. But I rarely hear somebody say, I had to have this tummy tuck, or I had to have this BBL. It's just it's more of a want. And to me, you have to really dig deep down and understand, is that want really right now? Can it wait? Could you try something else first before you make the conscious decision to have surgery or whatever procedure you choose to have?
So if you could leave our listeners with one key message about beauty, self-worth, and the pressure women face, what would it be? It's your time to give that last declaration to our listener land.
Well, I would just like to say I have a motto, and it's taking care of yourself is just not a one-time event. It's continuous. So I would encourage anybody that is thinking, breathing, praying about having a procedure such as surgery. We've just repeated this over and over again, really think it through. I'm not against anybody having it, but really make sure it's really going to be for you, because that's a permanent decision.
Let me ask you this, Nadette.
Sure.
I know we got to wrap this up, but I want to ask you this. So for those that, I'm sure you get I'm doing this for a man. They did it for a man. When that man leaves them, do you ever have those conversations with your clients that I did all of this and he gone? He's still over there.
No, because they would never admit that.
I just wouldn't have that ever happen. So I'd be like,
no, ma'am. They would never admit that. You know, some of them don't even admit what you just asked me to me. I read it. You feel what I'm saying? So, but just any advice to anybody, really think it through. Budget for these procedures. Because a lot of us out here are getting burned. And that's a whole nother subject, but really think it through, really do your research, write it out, plan it ahead of time. Just don't jump head first into it. Even if you're wanting to do the body contour, make sure that person is authorized to work on your body. Make sure that surgeons check their depths. You know, all that is included. I just encourage people to really do the research at the end of the day and make sure it's worth it.
And I'm just going to add to that before we close out that loving yourself, y'all, it is not vanity. It is sanity. Please, people, love yourself. Not for vanity reasons, just for your own sanity, your mental health, your mental wealth.
Yes.
Simona, thank you so much for being here today, for letting our listeners in on what you have experienced in the world of BBL and beauty as a woman's currency. You are now part of this lovely podcast family. You're welcome back anytime. You know, you're very valuable to the conversation, and I just want to say thank you, friend, for stopping by.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome. Real talk. Beauty is often seen as a woman's currency, but it's time we redefine what true value looks like. It's not in the perfect face, the ideal body, or the procedures we put ourselves through. It is in the confidence. Let me say that again. It's in the confidence to show up as our authentic selves, flaws and all. We're bombarded with images that tell us we're never enough, but the truth is our worth isn't defined by anyone else's standards. It's defined by how we love ourselves and what we bring to the table beyond our appearance. So whether you're choosing to enhance your body or embracing the skin you're in, remember, it's your choice, your journey. As Simona shared with us today, it's about making informed decisions and owning your body and your path. Let's stop letting beauty dictate our values and start living life on our own terms. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and share this episode. Your engagement is greatly appreciated. Until next time, peace out. Hey ladies, ready to elevate your style game? From timeless classics to the hottest trends, we've got something for everyone. Visit theclosetexperience.com and save 10% today with code PODCAST. That's PODCAST. Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet? Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet? Be sure to use code PODCAST, PODCAST, and save that 10%. Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet?